Hey everyone, it's Blake. Welcome in to episode number 10 of our WWE 2024 Save and TEW 2020. This is Raw for February, week 4, the go-home edition before Elimination Chamber. I know we've gotten a little behind WWE in reality, but we knew that was going to happen. We'll try to catch up, maybe closer to WrestleMania 40, but for now, we're running about a week or so behind here in terms of kind of staying pace with WWE. But again, this is our own save. We've already ventured off in a different sort of storyline direction here. And so now we continue on here before Elimination Chamber, and we start things off with Cody Rhodes already in the ring, and Cody is fuming. We know why. Spoiler alert, if you didn't watch the previous edition, it was Solo Sikoa revealing this time that the person that the Bloodline had brought in was Dustin Rhodes. And so Solo attacked Dustin Rhodes, big spike, and sort of rolled him down the ramp. Cody and Randy Orton checking on him to end that show, and Cody just kind of staring down Roman Reigns. And so here, Cody saying, Roman, you made this personal. You made this very personal. And, sort of bringing up that Dustin's home recovering, all this and that. Everybody's been talking about how Cody's the nice guy. Cody's this and that. No more, Cody says. And this is a quick promo from Cody because he's just going to get it out there, Cody says, no more. He's tired of playing nice. There will be none of that. You've come at me. You've come at my family, my own brother now. You've decided to set your sights on. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Solo Sikoa, you're the one doing all the bidding for Roman Reigns right now. I'm challenging you to a match. Street fight, no disqualification, no holds barred, Elimination Chamber, just you and me, and I am going to beat the hell out of you, because now the Bloodline has made this personal. And so Cody essentially saying he's going to take out, each of Roman Reigns' people here. There's Jimmy, there's Solo, and Cody making it clear here that he is going to go after Roman's family the same way that Roman has come after his. And so that is kind of how we start things off here with Cody just on a mission and very, very angry after his brother was taken out on SmackDown. So it gets an 85, but before Cody can finish, who's out to spoil the fun? None other than Drew McIntyre. As here comes Drew, and Drew just says, Cody, calm down. He says, you've done it again. I don't always agree with the Bloodline. They've cost me a lot over the past couple years, but I think they're right about one thing in particular. You've once again put someone in harm's way just to be able to finish your own little story. And Drew's walking down, cutting this promo, right? And he goes on, he says, you've put your story ahead of your own brother. And as Drew is saying this, making his way towards the steps, he's going to get into the ring. All of a sudden, Cody has had enough. Cody just comes diving through the ropes, and he dives right onto Drew McIntyre. He just doesn't even see that he's coming here. Cody dives onto Drew, and now we've got these two just brawling. Cody not even waiting for Drew to say anything else because, again, we know Cody is very upset right now. And so he dives out onto McIntyre. These two are just brawling around the ring. We've got the officials coming out and all sorts of chaos here as we start Raw. 79 for this segment. So officials breaking these two up. And, yeah, we've just got total chaos going on here with Cody not taking anything from Drew McIntyre as McIntyre came out, to basically start saying that. And so Cody attacks him right as he's about to hear the words, Jey Uso, who we saw Drew attack last week, and we'll have some follow-up on that here shortly. But a little pull-apart brawl to start things off here. Cody's not having it from Drew McIntyre. So, all right, we get one of our Elimination Chamber qualifying matches, as it is Dominic Mysterio qualifying for the Elimination Chamber as he gets the win over The Miz in 10-17 following the interference from Finn Balor. So the Judgment Day at it again. Dom gets the win, and now we know he is officially in the chamber. He will join Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Judgment Day member Finn Balor, and Jey Uso, which again, we'll have an update on Jey here in just a minute. But for now, it's those five, and we know there's another qualifier later on between Braun Breaker and Shinsuke Nakamura. So Dominic gets the win here. And I don't know what I did. I hit the button. I was like, how did that go smaller? But I hit the button on that. So Dominic gets the win, a little interference. And so the numbers game, right, from the Judgment Day here, kind of what we're playing up with this one. So gets a 54 for the match. But afterwards, a little storyline advancement as Truth, of course, is still with the Dutch Judgment Day, despite Damian Priest getting, frustrated with him and all that in recent weeks. Truth is still there. And so Truth goes over to try to talk to The Miz, after his loss. Miz realizes that, he's lost here based on the interference. So Truth goes over to try to talk to Miz, but Damian Priest just pulls R-Truth away. He grabs him, pulls him away, and basically doesn't allow him to go over to The Miz, who's still kind of trying to recover from the 619 from Dominic and all that. So a little bit of storyline advancement there on that one, but a 68 here for this one as Dominic Mysterio on his way to the Elimination Chamber and one step closer, potentially, to challenging for the world title at WrestleMania 40. All right, now we get an interview here, and kind of your typical sort of big time match feel as we're kind of building this up. So we get kind of a special interview, a pre-recorded interview here, Kathy Kelly with Bronson Reed, who we know will challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber, and she just asks about what this match means to him, and Bronson Reed just says this match means everything. I brought up how last October I came this close to beating Gunther for that Intercontinental Championship, and I've thought about it every single day, how that would have changed my life, how that would have changed how my family looks at me, everything. But there is no doubt that this is the most important match of my career. I will be in front of my family, and I want to prove to everyone that I'm not the person who lost that match to Gunther. I am Bronson Reed for a reason, and that is I am someone who can be a champion in WWE. And so, again, Bronson Reed, just your typical babyface stuff here, talking about the importance of this match and saying this is the most important match of his career for himself to prove that he can be a champion here in WWE, and he's going to have a chance to do it in front of all of his friends and family in Australia. So that's kind of your setup here for this one. We'll hear from the champ a little bit later on, 59, for this one here. All right, now we get a little backstage stuff going on. There's a lot happening here backstage, so I'm going to try to get to all of this. So Adam Pearce working the phones here. He's working them quite hard on these phones. 59 for the segment, but again, there's a lot happening here, and I actually probably should have put in one other thing, but I didn't, just to kind of space it out a little bit. So Pearce just, is talking on the phone here. There's a lot going on. And he says that, whoever he's talking to, he's saying, yes, we're officially going to do this tonight. And he announces that our main event tonight will be Cody Rhodes going one-on-one with Drew McIntyre based on the events from earlier. So that's the first thing. But he's like, I got to take this other call. So he's worked on this. Main event's official. Everything's set in motion. Cody versus Drew tonight. Big match here on Raw. But he's got another phone call. And it's, him kind of trying to get an update on whether, they believe that Jey Uso is going to be available for the Elimination Chamber match. He's already earned his qualifier to get in there, but Drew McIntyre throws him into the steel steps last week, and Jey really favoring the shoulder after that, and they're not sure if Jey is going to be medically cleared to compete inside the Elimination Chamber. So Pearce, whoever he's talking to, he says, look, I'm working on a replacement for Jey right now. We want to have them ready to go for Elimination Chamber on Saturday. So as he's continuing to talk about this, he's like, hold on a second, I've got another call now. And he realizes this call is from Jade Cargill, who he's been trying to court here to get her to Raw. He met with Jade last week, gave her the official contract, and Pearce is just like, Jade, I appreciate you calling me back. I just wanted to try to get an answer because I'm working on something big here for Elimination Chamber, and I'd love for you to be involved in this. And so, we don't obviously hear what Jade's saying, but Pearce is just like, I see. And we see his demeanor go down a little bit here. Like, he's like, all right, well, I understand this is a big decision and you want to wait, so that's fine. We can wait until after Elimination Chamber to make your official decision. I respect that. I understand it. But again, I want you to know we'd love to have you here on Raw. So Pearce hangs up the phone with Jade, and now we can see Pearce kind of thinking, because he did just say he had something big in the works for the Chamber that would have involved Jade. But we'll see what that means here coming up shortly. So 59 for this segment. And so after the break, we come back as Pearce has made his way to the ring. And now Pearce just says, well, I will tell you, I just got a phone call that, sort of changes a little bit of what I had to say, but it doesn't change everything. He says, because I told Becky Lynch last week. I've told everyone that I would be making a decision on what we were going to do about the women's world title situation, the Raw Women's title, at WrestleMania 40, after Bayley made it official that she will challenge Io Sky, the SmackDown Women's Champion, WWE Women's Champion, whichever one you want to use, at WrestleMania. So, Pearce says, my decision is official. Normally, when we go to Elimination Chamber, there's a Raw, there's a SmackDown, there's all sorts of mixture. Pearce says, not this year, because this year, Raw will be dominating the Elimination Chamber, because we are also going to add a Women's Elimination Chamber match on Saturday, and it will feature Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and the returning Raquel Rodriguez, who is going to, again, we're kind of using Raquel similar to the same return you saw in reality. But Raquel will be wrestling here shortly. And Pearce says, but I will be honest with you. I was expecting to announce for everyone tonight that Jade Cargill would be part of the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Unfortunately, I could not do that. So, I will try to find a suitable replacement, and you will find out on Saturday who that is heading into this Women's Elimination Chamber match, with the winner going on to face either Rhea Ripley or Nia Jax for the title at WrestleMania 40. So Pearce makes it official, a second chamber match on the Raw side. And like I said before, we had to kind of put all this together pretty quickly, just based on kind of the build of this and everything. But yeah, so we're kind of playing this up. That it's a bit of a last-minute thing here, but maybe we'll understand some reasons why here soon enough. So Pearce makes the decision, and there is your Women's Elimination Chamber. We know 5 competitors. We don't know the 6th yet, because Pearce was hoping it was going to be Jade, but it's not going to be Jade. Who will it be? We'll find out. 61 for this one, and as we said, Raquel makes her return, and she's going to be in action here, and she gets the win over Piper Niven, 437. Not a long match, but I had to cut some time off of some of these matches just based on how many segments we have on this show. Tequila Shot does it, so Raquel gets a win, and she has that much-needed momentum that you have to have heading into this particular Elimination Chamber match. So 48 here for the segment. All right, now we get Kathy Kelly, who is with Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis, who picked up the big tag team win last week over Imperium as they took the place of the New Day, which in storyline, as we said, the reason for that was because we know that Xavier Woods was attacked in the back. He was unable to compete, so Kofi was helping tend to him. They took Xavier off and all that, so Gable and Otis stepped in to kind of fight for these two, although in reality, as we said, the reason why is because Xavier has an injury note in this one that I did not even realize, and so he's still out for several weeks at least, so yeah, he won't be having a match anytime soon. But Gable just says, you know what, the reason we stepped up for the New Day is because we're not going to be bullied by Imperium. We're not going to be bullied by any of those guys. We're not going to be bullied by Gunther. I don't care what kind of long title reign he's had. He knows I came this close to beating him for the Intercontinental Championship. We won't be bullied. We're the Alpha Academy, and look, he's just kind of beating on Otis's chest here. It's like, who's going to bully this guy? Who's going to bully Otis? So, yeah, just kind of your babyface stuff again from these two, and they're going to be in action here again to try to keep their momentum rolling. 52 for this one, and it is Alpha Academy getting the win over Indus as it is Gable submitting Senga here, 636. Pretty, solid match, I guess you could say overall. 57, not bad. Gable with a 67 on the in-ring performance, so good stuff here. The usual bonuses that we get from these two, and so, yeah, just kind of a tag team match to further kind of the win that they got last week. So, Alpha Academy gets the victory here in tag team action, but you know what's coming. You can't take verbal shots at Imperium and get away with it, because afterwards, here come Imperium to jump Alpha Academy after the match, and we have Gunther kind of walking down with these guys with his Intercontinental Championship, of course, and he's giving orders, telling them, to kind of go at them, and he's taunting them right after everything Gable said about how they won't be bullied. Well, Vinci and Kaiser essentially bullying Gable and Otis here. So we've got the 3-on-2. Gunther just kind of, giving the orders here and all of that. But that leads to the big pop, because afterwards, 60 for this segment, here comes Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston is back, and he makes the save for Alpha Academy. We didn't put everybody in here, but we just kind of had the Kofi and Gunther for this one. But 73 here for the rating. Kofi makes his return, makes the save, and manages to get a hand on Gunther here, but Gunther able to get out of there just like Imperium does. So we have the baby faces, Kofi and Alpha Academy, standing tall in the ring, and Kofi just having a stare down with Gunther, of course, who just defeated him several weeks ago on Raw. But again, Kofi putting the blame here on the backstage attack on Imperium, and we'll see what this leads to. I'm sure you guys have a pretty good idea what could be coming up perhaps soon enough here on Raw with Kofi making the save for Alpha Academy. So 73 for this one, and let's see what we get to next, which is kind of built it up last week, how we were going to have an update on CM Punk's injury situation. And so we're kind of using the old school, if you remember back in the day, like Raw in the mid-90s, all this other stuff, like they kind of have like the call-in stuff, right? But this time we do have Punk on the screen here, and it's Michael Cole kind of, running the interview here as he's saying, Punk, we all knew we'd be getting an update on your recovery from injury, and we know, everything that you said. Yeah, I'm sure you're still frustrated. We're, a little over a month away from WrestleMania 40. We all know you will not be a part of that event, but we'd love to know an update on your injury status here as it stands right now. And Punk just says, yeah, Michael, I appreciate you bringing up the fact that I will not be wrestling at WrestleMania 40, but I will tell you that, we're several weeks out from this injury, and I can already tell that I am ahead of schedule on my recovery. I'm starting to train. I'm able to, kind of do some things, and it's only been a month, he said. So I'm ahead of schedule. I'm definitely moving in the right direction, and I just wanted to let everyone know that. I wanted everyone to know that I am ahead of schedule because I will be back sooner than you think. I will be back before you even know it. And when I do come back, he says, I will take what I have earned, and I can promise you that. So that's all Punk has to say. Not a lot to say here, but just making it clear that he will take what he has earned, and that he is ahead of schedule in his recovery from injury, which happened, we know, a month ago. But Punk just says he will take what he's earned, but he also did make it clear he will not be competing at WrestleMania 40, just as we had suspected. But ahead of schedule, good for CM Punk there on that. So 92 here for this particular segment with Punk, who says that he will take what he's earned as soon as he makes his return. All right, now we get a match here. Good match. Damian Priest getting the win over Johnny Gargano here over the South of Heaven 939. So good match, good chemistry between these two, which is not surprising. But yeah, pretty good stuff here, kind of building off of, we've had the tag team interactions between these two in recent weeks, but now the singles match, Damian Priest getting the win over Gargano here with this one. But this one also kind of more about what comes afterwards, because we see Damian Priest kind of go over and he puts on the commentary headset right after this. And of course, again, this comes after the interview we saw from CM Punk, so 78, decent stuff here. And Priest puts on the commentary headset and says, I just heard everything that CM Punk had to say. And just so everybody knows, yeah, I'm still looking for Seth Rollins. He's still hiding from me because he knows that as soon as he turns the corner and I'm there, that means he loses the World Heavyweight Championship because I have this briefcase right here. And so I got a message from CM Punk who says he's going to come back and take what he's earned. I got a message for Seth Rollins, who continues to hide from me. I'm the next World Heavyweight Champion. And whenever I do become the World Heavyweight Champion, neither CM Punk nor Seth Rollins are taking that belt away from me. So, Punk, you can sit on the sidelines and wait your turn because the next World Heavyweight Champion is right here. So, Priest, again, kind of making it clear he heard everything Punk had to say before he came out for the match, and now he sends him a response here to Punk saying that, he's going to have to go through Damian Priest essentially because he's going to be the man that's the next World Heavyweight Champion. So there's that, 78 for this one. And now we get to Becky Lynch, who is backstage, and we have Kathy Kelly kind of asking Becky, what are your thoughts? Now you're going to be in the Elimination Chamber match with the right to go to WrestleMania 40 to challenge the Women's World Champion, whoever that is, either Rhea Ripley or Nia Jax. And Becky just says, this is about what I expected. I've been preparing. I know. I knew that this was going to be the decision from Adam Pearce, so I've been preparing to be inside that chamber. And I know there's a lot of other good competitors in there, but the man is the one who will exit with the shot at the champion at WrestleMania 40. And as she's kind of going on about this, here comes Liv Morgan. And Liv just says, Becky, I appreciate that you have what you want, but I also want to get what I want. And she says, and that's revenge on Rhea Ripley. And because of that, I'm going to have to go through you in the Women's Elimination Chamber. And I just want to apologize, because if it comes down to you or me in the chamber, it's going to be me, because I have to get my revenge and get that world championship around my waist. So Liv Morgan kind of, again, pointing out the history with her and Rhea Ripley and saying that she has revenge on her mind here heading into the chamber, and that if she has to go through Becky, she'll do it. And so that's kind of your setup here for these two, as, again, they will be part of that Women's Elimination Chamber match. So 77 here for this segment. All right. Now we get to our other qualifier here, and I needed to probably put another segment in, but I just didn't have the space to do it. So, as you can see, who qualifies for that last spot in the Elimination Chamber match on the men's side? It is Shinsuke Nakamura, as he defeats Braun Breaker in 11:54 after Braun Breaker is counted out following an attack from Dominic Mysterio. So we played this up for weeks now, and kind of how we're playing it here is that Breaker goes to the outside and Nakamura, inside. The referee's kind of occupied with Nakamura, and then we see Dominic pop up from the front row. And as he pops up from the front row, he's got one of the chairs that were in the front row, and Dominic just hits Braun Breaker with the chair right in the gut here, and that's enough to keep Breaker down just long enough to where he gets counted out. He makes the leap at 9.5, but he's not able to get back in the ring. And so Nakamura wins by countout here over Braun Breaker. Come on. You knew if Nakamura was going to win this, he wasn't going to get a clean pin over Braun Breaker. But Nakamura advances to the Elimination Chamber. And now, afterwards, we see Dominic just scurrying away. And Dominic has maybe one-upped Braun Breaker here a little bit, as finally a little physicality between the two, but it is Dominic, being the little scoundrel that he is, using a chair to hit Breaker to prevent him from beating the count. And Nakamura advances to the Elimination Chamber. So more to come, obviously, with this feud, but we didn't just have anything else to add to it. That's kind of how it played out here with Nakamura advancing. 63 for the match. All right, now we get that other interview, as we said earlier, Kathy Kelly, another kind of pre-recorded sit-down interview here with Gunther. And Gunther just says, I know everyone wants to come after this championship, 600-plus days. Everyone knows that I'm the real world champion here in WWE. It doesn't matter what any other champion has done. Everyone wants a piece of me because they know that I have built this thing into the most prestigious belt in professional wrestling. And Gunther says, and they also know that I've beaten everybody in my way, including Bronson Reed. And at this point, Bronson Reed is just another number. He was just another number 6 months ago. He's just another number now. Nothing has changed. I am stronger than ever, and I will walk out of Elimination Chamber with my Intercontinental Championship. So, Gunther, again, kind of not saying anything that's not true necessarily about how he's beaten everyone in his path. And Reed's going to get a second chance opportunity. And Gunther just saying basically, hey, nothing will please him more than to beat Bronson Reed in front of all of his family and friends and show that he is not championship material. So Gunther taking aim at Bronson Reed here, and that should be a hard-hitting match, I think, at Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental Championship. 63 for this one. All right, now we get a video package looking at the road to Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. And this is an interesting one, of course, because, there was a thought that I had. Do we do the same thing WWE did in reality? Do we put this in the main event slot? I'm just going to tell you right now, there's no way we can do that based on kind of how we have to play this game. But it's a big match, and we were going to treat it as such. We know everything that's happened. Nia attacking Rhea. Nia kind of attacking, Bayley, Dakota Kai, causing the injury to Dakota Kai. All this other stuff that's happened. Nia has kind of exerted her force here since the Royal Rumble. And now we know it's official, though. Rhea will defend her championship against Nia Jax. So we see kind of the video package hyping up the road to this match. And, that's kind of your setup leading into this match on Saturday at Elimination Chamber. So Rhea Ripley defending against Nia Jax. 72 for this one. All right, now we get two people who will be part of this match, as we know, announced earlier, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. They're teaming up here. Commentary kind of pushing, well, they're teaming here, but it will be, these two on their own in the Elimination Chamber because they're both battling for the same thing, and that's the right to go on to face the winner of the Women's World Title match at WrestleMania 40. And so, but combined as forces, they're pretty dominant, and they do that here again as it is them getting the win over Natalya and Tegan Nox. Zoe Stark pins Tegan Nox with the Frog Splash. So that's how this plays out here for this one. So 46 for the match, but again, just kind of pushing the fact that these two are dominant as a team, but they will be on opposite sides here inside the Elimination Chamber, and it is every woman for themselves to try to earn that shot at the Women's World Title. So nothing more than that for this one. All right, we get another video package here looking at the Men's Chamber participants. And again, we know now who the field will be. It is Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Shinsuke Nakamura, and as of right now, Jey Uso is in the match, but as Pearce said earlier, he's working on a replacement, given what happened with Jey last week, getting attacked by Drew McIntyre, thrown into the steel steps, the injury to the shoulder, all those things. So we're not sure if Jey's going to make it to the Elimination Chamber. So we just get a video package kind of looking at, again, sort of the strengths of all these competitors, showing the dynamics with two Judgment Day members in here, the history between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn, with kind of the, the interview segments where Zayn has put over how much he has to, be able to beat Drew McIntyre. He has to do it. And, Drew's kind of had his number, but he has to do it because he has to be a world champion. And so kind of, again, pushing that aspect of Sami, also pushing just the confidence of Drew McIntyre heading into this match. And even though, again, we know Drew's got a big match tonight against Cody. So all those kind of things here as we kind of pull into it, and everything we've kind of had on the road to Elimination Chamber, this is kind of what we're pushing with this one. So 75 here for the segment. Your 6 people, as of right now, slated for the Elimination Chamber, but a potential replacement situation with Jey Uso. So, all right, that gets us to a interview here, and it's kind of the same one we saw earlier with CM Punk. It's Michael Cole kind of directing this one, and it is Seth Rollins, an undisclosed location. And Rollins just says, I've heard everything that Damian Priest had to say. I heard everything that CM Punk had to say earlier. And Rollins just says, you know what? I'm not an idiot. Yes, Damian Priest is right. I'm injured. And I know that there is the chance that if I showed up at Monday Night Raw tonight, I could walk out to the ring and I could walk out without my World Heavyweight Championship. But that is why I'm the architect. I am someone who is smart enough to understand my own weaknesses. I'm smart enough to understand what I need to do to be able to put this all together to stay World Heavyweight Champion. And he says, so I am telling you right now, you saw the training videos. I know everyone's seen it. I will find my way back for WrestleMania, and I will be ready for whoever wins the Elimination Chamber match on Saturday. And just a reminder, CM Punk, Damian Priest, anybody else, I'm the champion. And to get this title away from me, you have to go through me, and that's what everyone will have to do if they want to be the World Heavyweight Champion. So, again, kind of just playing off of what we've heard from the other two here tonight. CM Punk, injured, out. He's quicker maybe than expected in his return, but he's not ready, anywhere close to ready yet. He's not going to be WrestleMania 40. Damian Priest also taking aim at Rollins, showing off, hey, I've still got this briefcase, all this. So an interesting dynamic here as we continue forward. And also Rollins awaits the winner of the Men's Elimination Chamber match on Saturday. 91 here for this segment. All right, that's going to get us to our main event, Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre one-on-one. And in a not-so-great match here, 70. Not good stuff. I would have thought this would be much better. Definitely not. But it is Cody getting the win over Drew McIntyre in 1440 after Drew McIntyre intentionally disqualified himself. So, intentional disqualification. Not a lot of clean wins, I know, on this show, but come on. This is the show before the pay-per-view. You got to further the stories a little bit. So the story we're playing up here is Drew McIntyre intentionally getting disqualified after he hits Cody with a low blow. So Cody's about to go for, the crossroads, all this, but McIntyre, sense a little desperation here from Drew. He hits Cody with a low blow, and the referee calls for the disqualification here on that one. So if we look at the dirt sheet, why this didn't do as well as maybe we would have thought, Cody inconsistency and the lack of an associated storyline. So because we have Cody tied into that Bloodline storyline, we have Drew kind of tied into the Elimination Chamber Sammy storyline. We didn't get it here, but still, this, probably wasn't going to hit 85 or anything. So, it kind of is what it is. But anyways, it's fine. So, Drew with the low blow on Cody, and everyone kind of sense what's coming next, right? Cody's down. He's just taking the low blow from Drew. And now we sense that Drew is going to try to get a little bit more on Cody, right? Because think about what Drew did last week to Jey Uso, and that's kind of the setup here. Drew picks up Cody as if he's about to do the same thing to Cody. He starts to walk him towards the outside, and we think he's about to basically Jey Cody here. And going to throw him into the steel steps. Drew's setting him up, but he's got some help. Because here comes Sami Zayn running down. As McIntyre, again, was stomping on Cody, getting ready to set him up. Sami Zayn runs in, and he is hauling off on Drew McIntyre now. So he's just sitting, Drew reeling, and that's kind of your setup here with Zayn standing over Cody as he stares at Drew McIntyre, who's kind of holding his mouth here after taking a couple punches here from Sami Zayn, and Drew kind of backs up the aisle. And that's how we go off the air for this edition of Raw. Sami Zayn making the save for Cody and getting that stare down with Drew McIntyre ahead of a big men's Elimination Chamber match on Saturday. So 87 there for that one. And again, that's how we wrap up the show, which is going to get an 80, so not bad. Main event did not probably do the number we would have thought it would have, but it's okay. We increase our popularity in 12 regions, and as always, it's Raw, so there's a lot of segments. Try to tie a lot of stuff in, but yeah, this is kind of the setup for the road to WrestleMania 40 because we have to get through Elimination Chamber, but as you guys know, we've tied in a lot of different story stuff here. Cody furious after what happened to his brother on SmackDown, but we know there's not going to be any members of the Bloodline on Raw unless it's Paul Heyman based on that. And so tonight it had to be just a match with Drew McIntyre, and he tries to take out Cody. Sammy makes the save. A lot of kind of intertwining parts here as we head into Elimination Chamber. So there you go. That was Raw, and let's see what we get to before we wrap up. All right, that was Raw. Positive show. We'll take it. Looks like Stardom disband stable. So there's that note. Not a lot else going on here. On that, drug test fees, Raw gets a 3.04. And Ilya Dragunov had a body type change. So he's gone from toned to muscular. Look out. Muscular. Boy, he's on his way to the main roster soon enough. So, all right, again, that was Raw. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out everything else on the channel. The TCW save, if you're into the C-Verse stuff, we've had a lot of fun with that. Just finished our biggest event of the year, Total Mayhem, so check that out. A lot of other stuff on the channel. I'm also working on some new saves that I'm going to add to the mix that will probably be more of the retro, kind of real-world save. I can tell you that. That's something that I have in the works, so I'd like to add one of those in the mix because we kind of have, the current stuff, the C-Verse stuff going on. I always like to have kind of a retro save going in the rotation too. And it's been a long time since we did the WCW 1998 one, but we'll see what we're going to do next here on the channel. So, hope you guys enjoy it. And again, always appreciate your feedback. And on the next episode of our WWE 2024 save, it will be SmackDown, the Go Home edition, before Elimination Chamber.